Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'd like to show you how I made this card. What I've done is I've cut part of the black off and I've inserted acetate in the centre so that you can see through to the liner below. You need quite a lot of card pieces for this. So to start with, you need your card base, which is 5 3/8 by 5 3/4. Another piece that's 5 3/4. Must be that way. Yes, I thought I'd got that wrong. 5 3/4 by 1 1/4. A window sheet which measures 2 1/8 inches by 5 3/4 inches. Whisper white, which is for the lining, which is 4 inches by 5 5/8 inches. A piece of gold, no, 2 pieces of gold foil, which measure 1 1/8 by 5 5/8. 2 pieces of designer series paper, which measure 1 inch by 5 1/2 inches, and then another 2 pieces that measure 1/2 inch by 5 3/4 inches. And then these 3 pieces, the gold and the black, both measure 2 1/2 inches by 3 1/4 inches, and the white is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 inches. These 3 are approximate sizes. So the first thing that we need to do is, on our large piece of black, we need to score that. So I'll bring my scoreboard up. And what we need to do is, on the side that's 5 3/8, we need to score it at 4 1/8. Then we fold on that crease, on that score line, and then use the bone folder to get a nice fold there. I'm going to work on my silicone sheet. I need to get some snail on here, but I need for it to be about 1/4 inch, which means, I don't know how wide this is actually, almost 1/2 inch. So I'm going to run this down half off the cardstock, and obviously I'm running upside down, and I'm running it along my silicone mat. Right, okay, so that bit was easy. So let's just pop this on. Which way do I find it easiest? So make sure the acetate sheet edge goes to the edge of the black. And just come off. Let's try again. Okay. That's it. Looks like I've cut my acetate sheet a fraction short, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. Now I need to do the same on this piece, about 1/4 inch. I wonder if that would be easier if I did it that way around. Yes, it would, wouldn't it? If you turn your card inside out so that you've got the glue part of the acetate showing through, and then what we can do is line up this corner to corner, and then bring that down and then we turn it back into the right way again, and so you can't see the join. Okay, that was a much easier way of doing it. I have been struggling with that a bit, and I couldn't come up with an easier way to describe it. But I just had a light bulb moment while I was doing that. I thought, you must be able to just turn it over. Well, there you go. Right, so what we're going to do next is we're going to put these pieces onto our gold. In fact, I might as well use this while it's here, mightn't I? So I'm just going to use snail for this. Let's move that out of the way, Jiffy. Oops. Before I do it that way, just make sure that I have cut this the right size. There we go. Yep, that's okay. And then this one. Let's double check that's the right size. Yep. This snail really doesn't give you much wiggle room. So let's have a look. There we go. Good, pleased with that. Now I'm going to put these onto my card the easy way, which is with my good friend Tombow. Right, let's see. Oh yes, well done. There is a right and wrong way of this DSP, so do be careful which way you do it. Okay, so there's that one. That one. Again, make sure it's up the right way. Oops, silly girl, silly. Right. This will dry clear, but it does dry shiny. So it is an idea to try and remove it. And what I do is I scrape along with my tweezers. So if there's anything left by the time that is dry, I'll be able to remove it with the adhesive remover. Okay, so that's okay. Right, now these two pieces I put on the inside here. I've got a little bit left over, but that's okay, I can trim that off. So let's put that on with snail. And again, this needs to be put on up the right way as well. And what I do is I try and leave a small gap, a tiny black line underneath this. And the reason I do that is because I know that if I manage to do that, then this piece is not going to show through from the other side. Okay, it looks quite neat from here as well. Okay, I'll come back and trim that off in a minute. Let's do the other one. Making sure it's up the right way again, and just a very thin line of black. There we go. It just tidies up the inside. Okay, so that's that bit, that's fine. So the next part I'm going to do is the embossing, and I'm going to bring this one over, and this, don't need that, I'm moving it all out of the way because in a moment I'm going to have to bring my big shot over. Right, I'm going to do embossing down both sides of this large sheet and all over this big one. I'm going to do this sheet first because it needs a bit of lining up done on it. Okay, so the stamp here for this bit, that comes from the Wonderland stamp set, and it's this piece here that I'm using, this stamp. And for the wreath, that's from Wondrous Wreath, and I'm just using this big one. Okay, so the only thing I'm going to try and do with this one is I'm going to try and get these two closer together. There's quite a gap there, and I'm going to see if I can close it a bit. So what I'm going to do is, I know this is 4 inches, so I'm just going to use my pencil, nice sharp pencil, to measure halfway mark, and the halfway mark here. Then I know what I'm aiming for to get them close together. So with my Versamark, and also with this stamp, I have cut quite a lot of the excess rubber off. If you've seen my videos before, you probably know that I do that. But if you decide to do it, please note that your guarantee with Stampin' Up will be null and void. Understandable. It doesn't worry me because I really don't expect to have problems with my stamps. The quality is just second to none, so I really don't think it's an issue. I've done it to quite a lot of my stamps now, and every time it's been successful. It has always improved the ease in which Stampin' Up stamps can be used. Trying to look at this without getting my head too far forward. Okay. Oh, they look lovely and close. So close, in fact, any closer they would be touching. Let's just get this one stamped as well. And then I'm going to do the two of them at the same time. Just get that closed. And with this set, there are little tabs on all of the, there are 3, you can do triple stamping with this. I'm only using the one, but each stamp has this tab on it, and there's also a tab on the dies that cut this out, so if you keep that going in the same direction all the time, you know which way to line up your dies as well. I've used this one so much that I can recognise the place where it needs to be, where the die needs to be placed. This is such a beautiful stamp set, this Wondrous Wreath. There we go. Now I'm going to use a sheet of scrap paper. And this one. And gold embossing powder. If I do this one first, then I can do it on top of this one. That looks good. Look how close that is. Lovely. And that one, not quite as close, but really nice and close. Okay. Now I've got some excess on here. I didn't use my dust buddy all over, did I? And I should have done. But it does brush off. And that's just my pencil mark there. Okay. There we go. So if I bring my Big Shot over now, I can die cut that, and I can also die cut the Joy as well. And bring over my magnetic platform too. Right, I know that that's the top up there. The dies are coming from the the Wonderful Wreath Framelits. Wonderful Wreath Framelits dies. You also get Noel in there, a bow and a flower, and also like a thing as if you were holding, hanging this over a door or something. Don't know what you would call that. It's like a hanger, I suppose. Right, off you come. Right. Now this one first, as I say, this one's got a tab on it as well, which goes the same direction as the tab on your stamp. So as long as you've kept this in the right direction, it will be easy. I know it's those two. Right, pull over, round, not too far. There we go, is that right? Looks like it. Now this one's more difficult. It's still got the tab on it, so that still goes in the same direction, but you can't actually see any of the embossing. So you have to rely on the fact that what you see through here is absolutely blank, but it does help to line up this piece as well. It's like a tail. You see that? Okay, so what I'm going to do is place it down. So that is straight with that one, and the tail comes down there, and you can't see any embossing through here at all. A little bit of fluff there, but it's not embossing. Okay, and I'm also going to do the joy while I'm here. So I'll pop that onto my gold piece. Right, like that. Bring this one back. Now for this, just pop that bit up and that comes out. And then this one as well. Then just push that away from the die. Okay, so that's that one. And then for the joy, this one comes away easily. You just need to be a little bit careful because it's a very swirly sort of die. So it all comes out quite easily, but it always worries me that maybe I'll break it. I never have done, but that's because I tend to resort to my paper piercer. Okay, so these just come out quite easily. The little one normally needs a little bit of help. That's it. Okay, so that's that one. And you probably notice I'm being good at the moment, turning my plates over. I'd like to say that I always do it, but I don't. I always try and remember to. There we go. And then this one. This one comes out a bit easier than the gold one, but that's because the gold one is quite a bit thicker than this. Again, those two can push out easily, but this one does need the encouragement. There we go. Okay, so we're not going to need the big shot anymore, so I'm going to move that back out of the way. first thing I'm going to adhere this inside my card. First of all I'm going to remove my pencil marks. And I'm going to put that in with Tombow. There we go. See, that looks quite nice, doesn't it? When you can see it through the window when it's closer together rather than so far apart. So I think the next piece we're going to do is, I thought we should have had another piece of Whisper White. What have I done with that? 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. I forgot to mention that I need a ring there. I'm not quite sure what size that is. Let me measure it. What I want is to punch a circle that's 2.5 inches square. So I suppose if I said 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, let me just write that down on my instructions. That's Whisper White, 2 3/4 square. So that's for my circle. And the reason I've got this is because I want to put a circle behind. Now I could just put that on there like that so you can see straight through, but I will probably put a greeting inside, so I want to cover it up. And I could have done it so that I just leave this, I don't cut that bit out, but if I do cut it out you can see that it's been cut and it just adds a little bit of dimension. Totally up to you which way you do that. I like the cut bit. Now where did I put my Tombow? So I'm just going to put a little bit of Tombow around in a circle here. Then I'm going to pop that on top. And then that needs to be popped on here. There's no right and wrong way of it. So I'm just going to, I can feel some sticky on here. I think that must have been Tombow coming out. If I move that all to the end, and I can sort that out afterwards. If I bury it, I'm never going to get at it. That side's okay. Alright. So what I'm going to do to adhere this on here, I'm just going to put a little bit of snail right near the top and right near the bottom. And place it in the centre across there and that way. And hopefully, oh, I've got more sticky inside. I'm going to have to sort this out afterwards. I'm not going to waste time now. Okay, so there's that. And then the last thing I need to do is the joy. And I'm just going to give it a little bit of a brush, because I do tend to get a few bits of hairy bits. And my silicone mat, what did I do with that? It's here. Tombow again. One of the American demos, what she does with Tombow is once she's put it on, she leaves it to dry for a little while, and then she says that it won't ooze out when she puts it onto whatever she's adhering it to, which sounds like a very good piece of advice, but it just means it takes time to dry off. But what I tend to do is I take a sheet of scrap paper and I just blot it off, tweezers. I just take my scrap paper and just pop it like that, and that will take off any excess. And I'm just going to stagger this on here so it's like a shadow. Okay, like that. And then I'm going to put some more Tombow, and I'm going to put it on my wreath. There we go. And I'm going to blot that off as well because it did come out quite thick in places. And just blot that down. It doesn't take off everything. It's not going to leave it so that it won't stick. It will still stick beautifully. There we go. Beautiful card. Really quite simple. The tricky bit really is getting the pieces all lined up so that it is a proper card size rather than having bits hanging over here or there, what have you. I hope you like that, and I hope you decide to give it a try. I will just show you some others that I've made, because as always I've been ringing the changes with these. This was one that I did for my blog last week, and I used one of the small doilies that we had with the artisan pack, which I think was in the spring catalogue, and then I did one with the larger doily as well, and I do rather like that. Oh, and also with this one I didn't do the decoration inside, but I definitely prefer it. So there you go, there's a few different ideas of how to do this one. Hope you like it, hope you give it a try. Many thanks for watching my video today. If you have any questions, please contact me. As always, I will be very happy to help you. If you've enjoyed my video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the subscribe button, which should be to the right hand side of your screen, or it may be below depending on what you're watching the video on. If you'd like to purchase any of the products that I've featured here, please click on the link below, and that'll take you straight to my 24/7 online Stampin' Up shop. Many thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.